Spider mug, a spider's not really a bug. Is it filled with lemonade? No, it's absinthe and grape Kool-Aid. Oh yeah, this is my spider mug. Irony, when I got this off my shelf to use it in this video, there was a spider inside of it. Ooh. Put this down. Usually I just throw shit, but I actually like this cup. Alright. Sorry to those of you who saw the last video and were hoping for something better this time. I don't have a hot chick next to me to balance out my hideousness, so sorry. Did finally shave the old man beard though. Somebody told me one time it looked like I had a gray pussy on my chin, and she was right. It did look like that. Anyway, so I have discussed on my channel before that my favorite Marvel superhero of all time is Spider-Man. Mostly because that's what I grew up with. Let me shut this door. Spider-Man is what I grew up watching. Reading. My first comic book ever was a Spider-Man comic given to me by my Uncle Ricky. Somebody's trying to get in the door. And so I grew up reading Spider-Man. To this date, I still read Spider-Man. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I read the Miles Morales comic, which is fantastic. I don't think it's quite as good as when Brian Bendis was writing it, but it's still a pretty damn good comic. Anyway, off topic. Spider-Man Far From Home. I'm going to try really hard not to spoil this movie. I was kind of going into this movie because it is a Spider-Man movie. I was the same way with Homecoming, and I ended up really liking Homecoming. Now, I do think Homecoming was a little better than Far From Home. But having said that, I fucking loved Far From Home. Loved it. And what I love so much about it, my friend Krista went and saw it with me, but she didn't want to do the video with me because it's against her religion to be seen in a video with somebody who looks like this. But, I swear, every time it can be totally fucking quiet in this house, nobody doing anything. I turn the camera on and just boo, 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 crazy shit. Anyway, Spider-Man. I've said it on here before, but I actually have across my whole shoulder blade here a giant Spider-Man tattoo. I'm not going to take my shirt off for you guys, because, I don't want to kill anybody. So anyway, Spider-Man, Far From Home. The way it opens, it has a really amazing, opening couple seconds. Jake Gyllenhaal's character, Mysterio, is there right away. We see him in the opening scene. And then, for some reason, I found out later, the movie kind of slows down. It gives some exposition about what happens at the end of Avengers Endgame. It talks about some of the questions that I know that we all had at the end of Endgame. This movie kind of answers them right away in the beginning. But there's a scene in the trailer where they're walking into their hotel room and the roommate dude gets shot in the neck with a tranq dart, and it's Nick Fury. From that moment on, the movie just boom takes off, and it doesn't let off for the rest of the film. This is going to be a non-spoiler review, so I'm not going to talk a lot about the movie, just how I felt about the movie. I don't want to give away any spoilers, because there's a scene in this movie. I had tears in my eyes. I had literally crying, and I looked over, and I think Krista was tearing up a bit too. But it's so emotional. Zendaya, if you've never been sold on her as an actress, you should be now, because she is amazing in this film, and her and Tom Holland have such tremendous chemistry with one another. You buy that these two are really teenagers falling in love. God, it's so hard to do this without spoiling it. Those of us who have grown up reading the comics kind of knew what was going to happen with Mysterio from the beginning. Not that they followed the storyline exactly from the comic book, although there was a period of time I didn't read Spider-Man, so maybe it was taken from that. I'm not really sure. But character-wise, we knew where he was going to go, those of us who know the character, but it was still exciting to watch. He was still believable in his character. And Jake Gyllenhaal is just one of those actors that I've seen him in horrible movies where he's still it's worth watching the movie because he's on screen. He's just that good of an actor to me. I love Jake Gyllenhaal, love Donnie Darko. I mean, he's just one of those guys that he can do no wrong acting, in my opinion. And he is tremendous in this film. There is a surprise cameo at the very end. And I think those of us who've been fans of Marvel films even before Disney bought them out, you'll really like the cameo at the end of this. It's fan-fucking-tastic. Excuse me. Just ate some popcorn chicken and it's like... there's not much else I can say about it. I mean, it's a Spider-Man movie. If you don't like Spider-Man, you won't like it. I, for one, loved the movie. I think it was... wow, this is weird to say, it was just as good as Endgame as far as Marvel films, because it's fair to compare a Marvel film to a Marvel film because there's the same genre, same style, and they're even the same subgenre of that genre. So it's okay to compare it. Like I argued with people that it was not fair to compare Get Out with Us. Because while they're in the same genre of film, they're both different subgenres of horror. So I don't think it was fair to compare those films just because they were made by the same guy. They were elementally the same, but thematically I thought they were very different from one another. You can tell I just got out of the shower, all the wet spots on my shirt. I just peed on myself. So I didn't get to go see this movie right when it came out because I was actually pretty sick that weekend. I was not feeling good at all. I discussed it on this channel. I have some health problems, and I was feeling it that day. I couldn't even drive. Last weekend, somebody by all means who shouldn't want anything to do with somebody like me decided she wanted to see Annabelle, which we did, and I was thoroughly impressed. I liked Annabelle. I mean, anyway, tangents on these videos. This is what happens when you don't prepare to do a video. You just hit record and go, hey, I'm going to do something. You make up a stupid Spider-Man song off the top of your head. But anyway, trailers. I'm not going to go too much into the trailers, but there's two of them that I want to talk about. There was a trailer for a movie called Midway. Now, I know even more about the Battle of Midway than I did about Dunkirk. I actually know way more about it. So I will be that nerd watching it like, okay, do they get this part right? But I love war biopics. I just do, except for Pearl Harbor. That was a fucking pile of shit. But I don't count that because it was Michael Bay. No, this one's actually directed by Roland Emmerich, which is surprising because he did the Godzilla film with Matthew Broderick that I think I'm the only person on earth that actually enjoys that film. And he did the Independence Day. So Emmerich can direct. He just sometimes does not so good things. This movie to me looks fantastic. And there was a trailer for this new... it's a spy film. It's an animated film, and it's Will Smith is like the world's greatest spy, and Tom Holland, who plays Spider-Man, is like a scientist nerdy guy that does experiments. And that movie actually looks pretty good. And I'm not going to spoil it, but we finally got the trailer for the new Jumanji film coming out, and I think it looks really good. That's just my opinion. So anyway, long story short, Spider-Man: Far From Home. Just continuing in the excellence of these Marvel films that just keep getting better and better, except for Dark Phoenix. But we don't count that because it's not canon with, because Dark Phoenix was... I'm going to do a review of Dark Phoenix when it comes out on Blu-ray so I can just really get into how much that movie disappointed me. Alright, well, that's it for me. Next week I am going to go see... movie comes out. Oh yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm gonna go see that next week, so I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.